stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Jimmy, I'm just chilling, every star yo sitting down and designing. Where every man them thinking, what are we gonna be wearing?
That's killing me.
MC, you can't trust me. Big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
Bitch, I'm your wanna be. Jimmy Star, new celebrity.
Yay, what's up? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We got a very fun show for you guys today, so before we start saying hi to everybody, let's make the rounds, starting off with saying hello to our cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell. Hello.
I'm not in the mood.
Why not?
I went to Home Depot.
No, you're just supposed to say hi first.
Oh, hi, everybody.
We have to say hi. There's a million people to
hi,
say hi to before you start talking.
They know who I am. They're like my friends. You would think I walk around Palm Springs saying hi to everybody I know?
That's different.
My audience is they're my friends. I don't have preliminary formal shit like you do.
Okay, well, we have to say hi to everybody before you start going into
hi to everybody.
Well, I am.
Everybody that watches our show is my friend, and I don't have to say hi. I could say, how are you?
That's okay. You can say hi. Anyway, so we'll come back to you then, because next we want to
Nobody comes back to me, darling. I'm the one and only.
We want to say hello to our fabulous Danielle at the W4CY Studios.
She's not so fabulous. She's an old maid.
Yeah, right.
Hello, and yes.
Oh, my God, you sound good there.
Thank you. I've been working on it.
There you go.
You need a man, honey, a big man. Ooh.
Then we got
bigger, so I do need a big man.
We've got Scotty J in Pennsylvania. What's up, Scotty J?
I'm a big man. And I got to tell you, I think Ron goes all over the place saying, do you know who I am?
No, I don't have to do that. I just have it printed on the back of my shirt.
Nah, I'm just teasing.
It says, I am Ron Russell, you fucking asshole. and that's why I have so many fans. But seriously, no, I could stop for autographs. I'm very embarrassed by it because I don't think I should sign an autograph. That's like a major star like Cary Grant or Barbara Streisand. But little old me signing an autograph, I think is silly. But people want it, and I do it.
Yeah.
I sign Marilyn Monroe sometimes or Jane Russell.
I love it.
No, seriously, I get recognized in stores and stuff. I was on the food line one day at Albertsons, and a woman turned around and she said, oh, my God, she said, I have to go home. I have to watch your show. I said, lady, it's Wednesday. Today is Thursday. It was yesterday.
There you go. So hold on.
Anyway, they recognize.
We have a chat room full of people, so we got to say hi to lots of people in the chat room. We want to give a shout out. Eileen Shapiro is in the chat room. What's up, Eileen? Looks like Dave Hughes from Stars Now UK is in the chat room. B. Claudia from Germany's in the chat room.
Anyway, getting back to Eileen Shapiro, watch the Garrick Lee show. He does Loretta Christensen and interviewed by Eileen Shapiro. It is a hilarious show. That Loretta Christensen cracks me up. I just can't stand to watch it because I miss half the words because I'm laughing. When he rolls those eyes, he's in drag, by the way, Garrick Lee. When he rolls those eyes and does those faces, well, he made a new face on the show where he puckered his mouth out. I was screaming from it. It's a hilarious show. You have to watch it. Eileen was very modest. No bosoms, no breasts, no nipples. It was okay. I was disappointed. I figured that she would put those cannons on top of the table because it was a high cocktail table. But she didn't do that either. She sort of squashed them underneath the table. And I thought to myself, if she breathes too heavily, she's going to knock the table over. But that's the problem we have when we are very endowed, men as well as women.
So we want to check it out. You guys can go to YouTube, type in Garrick Lee Style TV, and then the interview will come up. It's in 3 parts. It's very, very funny.
Very funny. I swear to you, I'm not lying. I blow smoke up no one's ass, and I don't bullshit anybody.
And Eileen says she's saving them for you.
Oh, her boobs. I know. She's coming out in October again. I can't wait.
Also, we got to say some other shout-outs. We want to say what's up to Twism. Twism White Pieces in the chat room. And I want to wish a very special birthday, which I don't even know what his wife's name is because I just became Facebook friends with her today.
His name is Adultra.
No, it's not.
Meanwhile, Twism's
Wait, say hi to his happy birthday to his wife. It's her wife's birthday.
Just a minute. I don't give a shit about his wife's birthday. I didn't even fucking know her.
That's okay.
So why am I going to wish her happy birthday? She's married to him. Her life is ruined already. I mean, what can
Come
I?
on, be nice.
I can't be nice. I'm in a bad mood.
No, you said you were in a great mood before we came out here.
I lied.
Anyway, Twism, we love you.
I love you, Twizella.
Her name's Misty.
Misty.
So we want to wish Misty a happy birthday. And glad to see everybody in the chat room. We got a really fun show for you guys tonight. We got tonight. I guess it's tonight someplace. And Mickey Byrnes is coming on. He hosts Profiles with Mickey Byrnes in New York. Big talk show host. So we're going to have one of our own on the show, which we don't do very often. And then we've got Jason Prince coming on. Everybody loves him from the UK.
El Dementa. I love her. I love El Dementa.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. And go ahead. You want to tell a story?
Happy birthday to Twizzy Big Piece. Your wife.
There you go. You want to
I want to tell you why I'm in a miserable mood.
Okay.
It's 118 degrees at 11:30 in Palm Springs. Today they estimate maybe 120. This is the hardest part of living here is August. Another month or so, the weather is breathtakingly magnificent throughout the entire year. So I went to Home Depot to get stones because we're doing a barbecue, a fire pit, all that shit out in the garden, in the patio. And it's hot and I'm exhausted. And then I had to go to Lowe's to get the cement. And then I was back and forth in the heat, in and out of the car. Disgusting. Now I'm getting back in my car from Lowe's and a woman walks up to me and she said, "Sir, I lost my wallet. Could you give me money?" I wasn't in the mood. You know, she was obviously a street person, schizophrenic. And I just said to her, "Listen, honey, go to the police station and tell them you have no money. They'll give you money." And she started screaming at me, "I went to the police station already, you stupid fuck, and they didn't give me any money." And she's going on and on and on and on and on and on. I said, "Relax, go get meds." She said, "Meds? Oh!" And then she started calling me every curse word that you would think of. I mean, you think I've got a dirty mouth. Mine is like a saint. Anyway, she carried on, followed me to my car. Now she whips out her cell phone. Imagine these nut jobs have cell phones. And she's photographing me getting into my car. "I know you. I know who you are. Now everybody's going to know who you are. I'm reporting you to the police." You crazy son of a bitch. Anyway, Palm Springs and California, I'm sure, is filled with homeless people. My heart goes out to homeless people. I'm not cruel. I feel sorry for them. But, you know, they don't want help. And I think the government needs to arrest them like they did years ago and bring them into institutions and give them their medication and then educate them and put them back out in the workforce of the world. We people who pay taxes do not need to be harassed or threatened, sometimes fearfully, because some of them are not all there. They can stab you, shoot you, or kill you. It's become quite an ordeal here in Palm Springs, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of no matter where I go, somebody's begging, following me. If I go into the supermarket, Ralph's or Albertsons, they're outside camping. They're dirty. They have bed bugs. They have crabs. They have every kind of dirty thing going. These are human beings. These are people. These were somebody's children once. They were beautiful babies. And now they became these pathetic, I don't know what to call them, mentally ill people who desperately need our help. I think that everybody should go to their government, their mayor, their whoever, even that Donald Trump person. We should send him thousands of letters.
He needs to see all the homeless people
here. Well, I'd
He
like to
would-
get that son of a bitch and bring him to Palm Springs for a week. And I don't mean at the country club either.
When we were in LA, remember when we were with Eileen in LA? Downtown, we couldn't believe.
Eileen is in shambles. No, LA is in shambles. Every bridge you go under is tents. They have miles and miles. California allows homeless people to pitch tents wherever they want. So they pitch them all over LA, Los Angeles. It is getting out of hand. It's up to us now to complain and say, listen, we pay taxes to keep our city clean. We don't want them to urinate on the sidewalk or defecate on the sidewalk
Something has to be done to help them.
in 118 degrees of heat. It's quite stinky and germy. We, as American people, have to stop worrying about Donald Trump and how awful he is, and to start uniting as a people and say, listen, do as we say. We elected you, not I, but some, elected you, And now you've got to do what you're supposed to do. Cut the shit. Cut the shit with the wall. That's a nonsense thing. Go after the homeless. That's a real big issue in the United States of America. Foreigners come here from all different countries, and they see America, the land of gold. Yeah, my ass is gold. There's nothing gold here. We have a bunch of people coming from all different countries who can't get work, and they live in the street. Or they're crazy, they're schizophrenic. I know about schizophrenia. My last boyfriend I was with for 5 years, Stephen Collins, is a schizophrenic. So I've dealt with it. It's a serious illness. And if they don't take their meds, they could become very violent, of which I found out. And that's why Stephen Collins is no longer in my life. Thank God for that, because Jimmy is. But anyway, address this issue, folks.
We need to take care of these people and get something going.
Exactly. I think it's just pathetic that these people are laying on newspapers or magazines under a tree in 118 degrees of heat.
Okay.
And Donald Trump should know about the homeless issue. Mar-a-Lago, I mean, I'm sure you two know. You guys lived in Florida. I'm not sure where in Florida, but...
I've been to Mar-a-Lago. I've been a guest there. I was a guest there, yeah.
So you know downtown West Palm is filled with homeless people.
All over.
Yeah.
I know that.
We went to Mar-a-Lago. Before Mar-a-Lago was Mar-a-Lago, it was the Post Cereals mansion for the people who own Post Cereals.
No, I went to Mar-a-Lago.
I was there as Post Cereals, but not Mar-a-Lago.
No, I went to Mar-a-Lago and I met Donald Trump, and I must tell you, he was the most gentleman you could ever find. He was gracious. He was very, very, very lovely as a person. He said,
"That's a long time ago." Let everybody know that. That's before.
Yeah, this is when
that was before he was a total egomaniac.
No, here's what happened. No, Donald Trump bought Mar-a-Lago and he turned it into a country club. My friend Perry was looking for a new husband. She had 4. She was looking for 5, a rich one. So she said, let's go to Mar-a-Lago and see what the dues are and how to join the country club. I could find me a nice old man with a lot of money. So we drive into Mar-a-Lago and we go into the beautiful building, and we're in the study now, walking around, looking at things, talking to people. And who comes over to us but Donald Trump? Introduces himself. Anyway, he was very gracious, charming, and terrific. It was $50,000 then to join the country club. Perry looked at all the old men. They were asleep in chairs and half dead. And she said, this is not for me. And then she turned around and she said, now, if Donald Trump were to make a pass at me, she said, I definitely would, because he had the most beautiful mouth, she said. His mouth looked like an angel's kiss. So now you could throw that out on YouTube, on Twitter. Trump has an angel kiss mouth. But anyway, I don't dislike Donald Trump. He's our president. I mean, I think he's a little bit different from most presidents, but most presidents were weird. They just hit it better. Donald Trump seems to be one that doesn't give a shit what he says or does, and he makes a fool of himself, and that part of him I don't like.
He should
anyway,
JFK and under wraps.
No, you know what it is? Trump is a New Yorker, and a hard New Yorker, like I am. New Yorkers don't give a shit. They say what they want. They do what they want. They're crazy people. New York people, I don't know what's with New York. I mean, me, I'm not all there. I mean, I do what I want. No, but it's serious. I do what I want. I'm not one of these inhibited, like a lot of Californians, native Californians. They're such mice. You know, you yell at them and they go in a corner and they shrink. You yell at a New Yorker, they come at you full force and knock you on your ass. And that's what Trump is all about. He's a tough guy. He's had to be tough dealing with the people he's dealt with. I don't think his politics are all correct at all. But what are we going to do? It's only a little bit longer and then he'll be gone. Then we'll see what other jerk comes in.
So anyway, we want to say hi to some people real quick, and then we got to call our guest. We want to say hey to Teresa from Sabine Marketing and Promotions is in the chat room. What's up, Teresa? How you doing? And Hub Reynolds just joined us. Hub Reynolds, hell, I'm just me. What's up? How you doing? Say hi.
You're putting those sexy pictures on Facebook. The girls are going crazy. Oh, there's a couple of them where he's standing like near a corral fence, like looking real cowboyish. Boy, I thought to myself, that's a sexy picture.
There you go. So everybody in the chat room, thanks for tuning in. What we're going to do now is...
Oh, wait, one more thing. They cut all my hair off. I cut all my hair.
They love it. Everybody in the chat room likes it.
Isn't that horrible? I look like a Nazi. But anyway.
Mine's only half finished.
Yeah, because my arm was hurting when I was cutting his hair. I used to be a hairdresser. In fact, we're having... what's his name coming on? The one I used to work with, the Great North.
Oh, Monty Rock eventually.
Monty Rock might be coming on our show. And for those of you who know Monty Rock,
They love your hair, they say.
Yeah, they love it. I don't. Anyway, Monty Rock was a crazy guy years ago. It's coming on. For those of you who know who Monty Rock is, that show is going to be fabulous. But the best show I will have in my life, when I interviewed this gentleman who's coming on our show who worked in Area 50. I cannot wait to ask him.
Coming on October 16th.
I cannot wait to ask him, did you really find 4 alien bodies?
No, I think there's 9. No, it's spaceships. I think there's 9 spaceships.
I know it like a book. Please don't talk to me about this. You're wrong. Four bodies were found in the craft.
And they have 9 spaceships.
That's a different time. This is Roswell, 1947. I remember reading it on the Daily News front page, and I remember they showed pictures of the aliens, and then the next day it was all changed. They said it was a weather balloon.
Anyway.
And I was 7 years old.
We got to go, though. We got to go. All right, everybody. So we're going to call our first guest. Do you guys have the profiles with Mickey Byrnes sizzle reel?
Yes, I do.
So on Enjoy, we'll play it and then we'll get him on the line. Everybody, our next guest is Mickey Byrnes. He's the host of Profiles with Mickey Byrnes. It's a New York show where he interviews a lot of cool celebrities like we do. It's going to be a lot of fun. Enjoy.
How important do you feel bounty hunting is to the success of the criminal justice system?
Well, if you had more cops, you wouldn't need bounty hunters.
That's true.
The reason you need bounty hunters is the cops are busy getting my kids home safe.
Right.
They're, during the day, they're busy with my wife's at the shopping center. They're busy. The bank just got robbed. They got to go. They can't look for John Doe.
Right.
So if there were more cops, there wouldn't need to be bounty hunters.
In 2000, at the end of the Sister Sister run, both of you received NAACP awards.
Yes.
And I was just wondering, what did that mean to you then and what does it mean to you today?
Oh, nobody has ever asked that question.
Well, that's a pretty important point in your life. Has there ever been a downside to fame for you personally?
Oh, there's been plenty of them because show business, I explain this to young kids all the time, show business is a bunch of peaks and valleys, man.
Yeah.
So now you have to be strong enough to withstand your valleys. You have to be strong enough to understand that all the doors are not always going to be open for you.
It's not all good.
Yeah.
Now, your role as Cassandra in Wayne's World really catapulted your career, no question.
Absolutely.
And when I went back and looked at your resume, I said, that was kind of the perfect role for you with your talents.
It was amazing. I mean, it was written an Asian woman that she spoke with the accent and she had the Chinese accent, but she rocked like nobody could rock. And I've seen a lot of these cover bands in Asia, in the Philippines even, where they couldn't even speak English very good, but when they rock like Pat Benatar. And that's what I called on. When I read the script, I said, there's nobody that can play this role, nobody. And I just went in with that mindset. Yeah.
I've put together this book in the same spirit as the WikiLeaks disclosures to reveal the truth. That's not going to make you popular in what circles?
Government. Because if you look in that book, you'll also learn that in 1 year alone, the government classifies 16 million documents top secret.
Yes.
I would think that's about all the documents they have. Maybe they
have
have more. That's a lot of paper.
You bet. Before I mention it, I could be calling you Dr. Bialy.
You could.
I could, right? Because you have earned a PhD in, make sure I get all the stuff right, in neuroscience from UCLA, and you did your thesis. I'm not sure if I'll get this one right, in psychoneuroendocrinology.
Yep.
So can you explain to us quickly what it is?
I studied obsessive compulsive disorder in a population of individuals with a compromised endocrine system. So that's all those words.
Over the years, I've often felt that you've been much underrated as a songwriter. Would you agree with that?
I have.
Really? Yeah, I mean, you just don't get the respect with all
No,
those
I don't.
great
I'm the
tunes.
I'm the Rodney Dangerfield of music. No, I am.
I agree with you.
I wrote some great songs,
You
and
sure
again,
did.
the critics and everybody's tried to like tear them apart. My songs were no more simplistic than anything that Lennon and McCartney wrote.
Much has been written that you've had your eyes done,
Yeah.
nose done,
Yeah.
facelift, liposuction, breast reduction.
Botox, of course, tummy tuck. I had a hysterectomy, and I was the only woman in the hospital. If they had to close me up, I said I want a plastic surgeon to close me up.
Yeah.
And might as well give me a tummy tuck at the same time.
Wow.
And now a lot of women are doing that.
Mina, open your eyes. Like freaking Peking opera, you know, like.
Open your eyes.
Yes.
And you'll never forget that, will you?
Never.
You'll never have
Don't
your
you
eyes
just
closed.
love moms for
Well,
that?
they're always-
Because they're wanting so much to help you.
And they're always right, by the way. Isn't that true?
Yes, are my eyes open?
Your eyes are open.
Okay.
All right, everybody, we're back. We are live.
All right, Mickey, say something real quick. Let's just make sure everybody can hear you, and then I'll make a nice formal introduction.
Sure. Well, it's a pleasure being on your show. I've been watching it, and you guys do a great job. I love the chemistry, and fantastic job for a long time. I mean, I enjoy it.
Good. All right. So now
We're just two crazies.
we're gonna do a formal
Anyway,
introduction. Wait, we got to do a formal introduction because I need it for Comcast.
I hate when you do this.
I have to have it for Comcast. What do you want? Comcast is going to take
All
the
right,
show
all right,
like this with
all
no
right,
intro?
Shut your ass and do it.
All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the illustrious television host of Profiles with Mickey Byrnes. Mickey Byrnes, hello and welcome to the show.
Jimmy, Ron, how you doing?
Absolutely
I don't know if I'm
fantastic.
allowed to speak yet. Am I allowed to
Sure.
speak?
Well, I
sir?
was going to introduce you, but since he knows your name, it's okay.
Of course. Meanwhile, I listen. I know Mickey. I've heard of Mickey Byrnes. You know how many years ago when I had a TV show here called Set the Record Straight, and I interviewed the legends of Hollywood: Jane Russell, Lauren Bacall, Tab Hunter, Cliff Roberts, and the list goes on. As you've done so many fabulous celebrities also, and I knew that you were my competitor on the East Coast, but I had the West Coast and you had the East Coast. You've been on for like 20-something years or
20
some
years,
shit?
I think.
How many years you on?
Yeah, we it's a labor of love. We love what they do, and they still let us do the show on the network, so we keep doing it.
There you
I mean,
go.
you've been a hit for 20 years. That's a hell of a show, let me tell you. We're like into our what, we're into my other show, so I've been interviewing for about 15 years. Now, what are we ready for? Tell me, direct me. Give me a fucking script.
We're going to direct you. Yeah. So first, Mickey, we got to say hi to some people. We want to start off with our lady. You can't see any of these people. You're only going to hear them. But we've got our engineer. She's in Wellington, Florida at the W4CY studios. Her name is Danielle. Danielle, say hi to Mickey.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show.
I love the voice. Hello, Danielle.
Yeah, she's out to bang you. Trust me.
Then we've got our video engineer, and he is actually in Philadelphia. So say hi. We got Scotty J.
Scotty.
Yo, Mickey, what's going on, man?
How you doing? Yep, important role. Keep it up.
Yes.
And on Thursdays he might bang you too.
And then we have a chat room right now. We have England, Germany, the UK, Australia, Canada, the United States. I don't know, a bunch of places represented. Say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Pleasure to meet you.
Like you, 100. We have 100. We have 100. We have 178 countries that watch us and 5 million people. What's your score?
Well, we certainly don't have that kind of demographic, but what we have is the #1 market and 20 million potential viewers in that market.
There you go.
You beat us by 15 million people.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you
I mean,
should
there's a lot of people living in the tri-state area.
Oh, you should only lose your voice for a week.
Oh, forget it. You're in trouble.
So also, Eileen
kidding.
Shapiro's in the chat room, so we want you to give a special say hello to Eileen because she's saying, yay, Mickey, hey, Mickey.
Let me say this about Eileen. You know, she's the premier celebrity publicist in the business, and she's been doing it like for 30 years. I love Eileen. What a job she does.
Yes.
She does a great job. She massages my back with her boobs. She does. And does she have a pair of boobs or what? Is that one got? She's got a pair of set of knockers that could kill anybody.
And just so And just so you know, Eileen is a great publicist, and her company is called World Star PR, of which I'm the other half of it.
Right. and Eileen is like Eileen's like my sister. She's probably, I guess, one of my closest, dearest friends. Joan Rivers. Let's talk about Joan Rivers.
Sure.
Years ago in Manhattan Center, I did a show with Joan Rivers, and I was so excited when I heard Joan Rivers was doing the show. Now we're in the green room, and I meet Joan Rivers, and I met the most boring, introverted woman I have ever met in my life. She was just studying her lines and mumbling and talking. Every now and then she'd look up and acknowledge people. The moment she got on stage, my God, that personality bloomed. And there she was, Joan Rivers. How did you find her off camera?
Well, first off, I think a lot of people weren't aware of her intellect. She was extraordinarily intelligent. Graduated college first in her class. I think she graduated with a degree in anthropology. I mean, she was out there intellectually. But I found her to be honest, candid, warm, friendly. Can't say enough good things about her. I had her on the show twice, and both times they were great interviews, and she was very giving.
She was a typical New York Jew. Perfect woman, funny as all hell. And when I told her I was Jewish, she said, "What? You're Jewish?" I said, "Well, only half Jewish." She said, "How do you be half Jewish?" I said, "Well, you know, what do you mean, how do you be half Jewish?" She said, "Well, how are you half Jewish?" I said, "My mother was a Catholic. My father was of Jewish descent."
Right.
She said, "You're not Jewish. You're Catholic." I said, "You're going to argue with me?" She said, "No." And that was the end of that conversation. Because she believed that you are what your mother is, not your father.
Sure. And you know, in the 500 or so episodes that I've done with Profiles, I ask the same question to every guest at the end. And that is, what do you hope your legacy will be? And Joan said, "I slept with them all."
That was Joan.
So hold on, I'm gonna do some bragging for you real quick. First of all, you guys. So Mickey's done a ton of interviews, you guys, and I knew who everybody was, but I wrote down the ones who I really like a lot. So here's some of the fabulous people he's had the pleasure and opportunity of interviewing. Joan Rivers, like we just spoke about, Rich Little, Meatloaf, Stacy Keach, Joan Collins, which that would be a fun one.
Joan Collins, she has to be the bitch of the century.
Well,
was she?
Joan Collins looks great. I mean, she's her beauty and her personality has remained intact. She's kind of ageless, and I believe the day of the interview, she was there with her. I think her boyfriend, who was like 40 years younger. So she's
that's her boyfriend.
She's also a cougar.
Yes, how cool is that?
She's a cougar. You're not the one she walked off your show. Are you the guy that interviewed her?
No, we did fine. We had no problems with her.
Somebody interviewed her, I believe maybe in England, and they asked her a few questions she just wouldn't tolerate. And she said, "You know what? I don't have to sit here and take this shit." Yeah. And she got up and walked off the set.
Wait, I haven't finished the bragging yet, though.
No, but we're going to do it. We're going to stop as you go along.
No, I want to go through the list, and then we'll go back. All right, so Joan Collins, Rutger Hauer, rest in peace, Tim Conway, Dick Cavett, Bruce Campbell, Mick Fleetwood. That's a huge one for me. Ben Gazzara, Jack Jones, Lorenzo Lamas.
Larry's a friend.
Mario Lopez, Melissa Manchester, Christopher Plummer, Smokey Robinson, John Cicada, Robert Wagner, Richard Belzer, John O'Hurley, which everybody thinks he looks like, and Ed Asner. And then I have a list, and I didn't go through everybody, but I went a list and made a list of the people that you interviewed that we also interviewed on our show.
Really? Okay.
So here's our duplicate list.
So what do you think? We do chopped liver here?
We've got Samantha Fox, Robert Davi, who I'm actually making a movie with right now.
He's a good cool. I love him.
Taylor Dane, Air Supply, Stephen Bishop, Laura Bell Bundy, Lita Ford, George Lamont Orleans, CeCe Peniston, BJ Thomas, Frank Vincent, Martha Wash, Mary Wilson, and Crystal Waters were the ones I saw on the list. Wow. So we have a bunch of them that we've overlapped, and they were all fun. We've had a good time. We have a good time with everybody.
Now, I'm asked a million times, and I'm sure you are also. Ron, who was the favorite person you ever interviewed? Now, you know you could chop your head off if you use those names because you're always going to hurt somebody's feelings. Right. So I say, well, Probably Jane Russell, because she was my best buddy, my dearest friend for years. Jane and I hung out together. We were like brother and sister. So yes, I would have to say Jane Russell. And that interview was about, in 1940, Jane, tell me what size bra were you? And she said, a 36B, that's all. I was no cow. So they made her out to have these huge knockers in Hollywood, but she was really very small-chested.
Wow.
And that's how I get out of that question. Now I'm going to ask you that question. Who is your favorite interview?
It's a tough question, as you know.
Oh, a lousy question.
But I like, the guests that I can leave telling stories about, that have something special that maybe didn't happen in the other 400 episodes. One comes to mind. Can you have a minute? I'll share this story.
No, we have a lot of minutes.
I think you'll enjoy it. We had Joe Montana, the NFL 4-time Super Bowl champion. Yeah, the best. So he was in New Jersey doing one of those conventions where memorabilia conventions.
Yes.
So they said, come to his hotel room, suite, and you set up, and he'll get there at 5 o'clock on the dot. You can do your interview for a half hour. Then he's off doing what he has to do at the memorabilia convention. So we arrived like at 3 o'clock for a 5 o'clock interview, setting up the lights, as TV it has to be done. And they put out a beautiful spread. And I said, man, television's great, isn't it? We get a spread. We get to talk to Joe Montana. And after we set up the lights, did the sound check, we had our dinner with salads and sandwiches. And then we're waiting for Joe at 5 o'clock. Joe shows up with his entourage of publicists and managers and all of that, exactly 5 o'clock. And the first thing that happens is, hi, Joe, how you doing? We're going to do the interview over here. And his manager says, Mickey, can I see you a second? So he takes me in the corner, and the first thing he says to me is, who ate Joe's dinner?
I guess Mickey did.
And I said, it was like a little kid with my hand caught in the cookie jar.
Bad boy. My best story.
Wait, let him finish.
I'm sorry. But now it doesn't end. So I said, Joe, I'm so sorry that my team ate your dinner. And he said, are you kidding me? I wouldn't eat that shit anyway.
Probably true.
And I'm going to an Italian restaurant after our interview.
Right.
So he said, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
My best story is Cliff Robertson was making Autumn Leaves with Joan Crawford. And I interviewed Cliff Robertson. And I said, Cliff, you're such a lily white, pure little Protestant. Don't you have like dirty stories or something you could tell me? He said, yeah, I've got a dirty story. Joan Crawford invited me to her house in Brentwood. I went up to the house, and Joan Crawford interviewed me in her bedroom in only a white terry cloth robe, laying on the bed with her legs in the air. And Joan was coming on to Cliff so hard, Cliff didn't know what to do. She wanted to bang Cliff Robertson. He was considerably younger than she. And, she was a cougar and a lesbian cougar, straight cougar. She didn't care what they were. And Cliff said, luckily, my girlfriend gave me a wristwatch that had an automatic timer on it. And the wristwatch went off. And he said, excuse me, Miss Crawford, but I've got to go. My wristwatch just told me so. And he left, a virgin. That's that story. And then my other one was with Arlene Dahl. I said to Arlene Dahl, Lana Turner was married to Lex Barker. Lex Barker was raping Lana Turner's daughter when she was 10 years old, Cheryl Crane, for over 2 years. Lana found out about it, pulled a gun, and went after Lex Barker. Lex Barker divorces Lana, marries Arlene Dahl. Arlene Dahl bangs on the arm of the sofa and says, Ron, that's a lie. Lex had a package so large, had he ever entered a 10-year-old, he would have killed her. So that's what they used as my commercial. So you see, California is a lot
different
than New York.
Hold on, let's go back for a second. Okay, so
I can share another story I think that you might enjoy when you're
ready. Go. No, go ahead and share, and then I want to tell people.
We're going to share name dropping stories because the audience loves this stuff.
Chuck Barris, another one of my favorite guests.
Chuck Barris. I met Chuck.
Chuck Barris. No one knows that he wrote Palisades Park, which became a big hit back in the 60s for Freddie Boom Boom Cannon. He said it was one of the biggest thrills of his life writing that song. But he was also trying to get into television industry at the same time. So he said, I didn't know anyone. I had no connections.
Can I interrupt you? Was he the Gong Show guy?
He was.
Yeah. Okay. Now we know who we're talking about. The Gong Show.
The Dating Game and the Newlywed Game.
Right.
He wrote not only the concept was his, but he also wrote the music for those shows. But before he became a big executive in Hollywood, he had to get his foot in the door. So he said a friend of his had told him one way to do it is to become an NBC page in New York. But he said, I don't know anyone. So he went to the library and he listed the 7 people on the board of directors at NBC as his references. And on my show, he said, they never checked.
Oh my God, they would
now. No, they wouldn't. They really wouldn't.
And he got the job as a page, and then he went on to be head of daytime television, I believe, at ABC. But
and then he died tragically. I understand.
Oh no, he became an author after he got out of the television business, and he wrote like 7 novels that were highly successful. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, that was made into a film.
No, I had heard that he had a very rough last few years emotionally.
Yeah, well, he was married to a Southern belle, and I thought he was pretty happy down south. He lived in Bowling Green or one of those.
Yeah, it wasn't so happy. So I
want to segue. I want to segue though, because you just talked about how he wrote books, and I know that you have a book coming out. Tell us a little bit about your book.
I do. Before I get into the book, I just wanted to finish the Chuck Barris story.
Okay, go.
Because he did all the shows that he did, and when I asked him what he hoped his legacy would be, he said he wanted it written on his tombstone, "Gonged at last."
I like that show. It was stupid, but I enjoyed it. It was fun, the Gong Show.
Actually, the way you have that question.
He passed away a couple years ago, and I read in the New York Times, that is exactly what's on his tombstone.
Oh, I love it.
He got his wish.
The way that you ask what you want your legacy to be, when Ron had his show, it was called Set the Record Straight.
Yeah.
And that's what he would tell everybody. He would say, what's been said about you that's incorrect, now you have a chance to correct it, so set the record straight.
I said to Betty Davis the very same, what has ever been said about you that's incorrect? And she said,
everything.
Darling, everything.
Yeah,
Thank you. So you knew Betty as well as I did. Betty Davis was also a friend of mine later on in years, when she was right before she passed away. Yeah. And I found her to be a dirty mouth, hard drinking Scotch lady with a cigarette. Wow. I mean, she was one tough broad. So far from the now Voyager elegant person that she played in films.
Jimmy, before you ask me about the book, which I do want to talk about for a second. I wanted to show you had asked me favorite guests that I've had.
Yes.
And one just came to mind. That was Eli Wallach. I had
wonderful actor. Wonderful.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
Wonderful actor.
When he was like 95, 94, right before he did the last Wall Street movie.
Right.
So
brilliant.
After the movie, he said, Mickey, take a walk with me. So we finished the interview, and I'm walking up Broadway with Eli Wallach. That's a good day.
Yeah.
Right?
You betcha.
And he's carrying like I'm going to call it a Pathmark plastic bag from the supermarket. And I said to him, Mr. Wallach, what do you have in the bag? He said, a pair of shoes. That's where we're going. We're going to walk up Broadway. I'm going to the shoemaker. And I laughed and I said, but, like you're a millionaire. Why don't you just go to Macy's and buy like 10 new pair? Why do you need to repair old shoes? And he grabbed me by the wrist, stopped me in mid-stride, and he said, Mickey, I grew up in the Depression.
Right.
Back then, we didn't buy new. We fixed old. And I've never been able to shake that.
Right.
I said, wow, what a story.
I do the same thing.
I'll never forget that.
I do the same thing. I'll be 80 in May. I'm not a Depression baby, but I'm a war baby. And during the Second World War, we couldn't get rubber. We couldn't get leather. We couldn't get anything because of the war. So therefore, I was deprived. I love when they call me privileged, by the way. When they say Ron Russell is so privileged, and my ass is privileged. We didn't even have coal to heat the house in the winter.
No.
It was so freezing in Brooklyn. Anyway, I would have asked
Brady, by the way.
Thank you. I would have asked Eli Wallach, tell me a little bit about Marilyn Monroe. I always ask Jane Russell about Marilyn.
Yeah, he did speak about her, talked about her in depth in the movie. He liked her very much.
Jane Russell also liked Marilyn. They did Gentlemen Prefer Blondes together. And I said to Jane, what do you think Marilyn's problem was? And she said she was abused, sexually raped as a child, thrown from house to house, and she was really very delicate. So Jane Russell said, why don't you go to my church of born-again Christians and possibly they can help you? And then the next day, Jane said to Marilyn, so how did it go? And Marilyn went, oh, no, it's not for me. It's just too religious. So Marilyn really was, anyway, the one thing that Jane said negative about her was, and I'm shocked, was that Jane had to say to her, well, they were shooting 6 weeks of rehearsal of dancing in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. And at one point, Jane had to say, Marilyn, dear, please shower. So, you know, that's something nobody likes to think of as Marilyn Monroe perspiring and smelling while she was dancing. They got along very well. That war that the press did about them hating each other and fighting, Jane said is bullshit. She said Marilyn was a little dove, a little scaredy cat girl, and Jane was a big, Jane's a big tough broad, and she was Marilyn's protector. Yes. And when they were shooting a scene when Marilyn Monroe kisses one of the fellas on the ship, one of the camera people said to him, "What did it feel like when Marilyn Monroe kissed you?" And he said, "I felt like I was being swallowed alive." Marilyn heard that. She ran off the set crying. That's how sensitive she was.
Wow. Wow.
So wait, let's go to your book. Tell us about your book. I want to hear about because Eileen told me that you've got a book coming out.
Right. It's a memoir, and the book is called From the Projects to Profiles.
Oh, that's a good title.
What projects did you live in?
I lived in the South Beach Projects, which is about a mile south of where the Verrazano Bridge stands today.
That was a low-income project.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
poor people lived there.
Yeah. Back in the day, we didn't have any money because my father, who fought in World War II, came back from the Philippines after the war, and now all these soldiers are in their late 20s, early 30s with no money and no job.
None.
No. So, and if you did get a job, they didn't have a lot of money. I mentioned in the book that no one in the projects ever went on vacation. Vacation for us as a family in the projects meant I'm off from work for a few days.
No, I agree with you. I never heard of people going on vacation in my neighborhood. They wouldn't leave the block. What are you kidding? They wouldn't even go to New York. Going to New York, you packed a lunch.
Yes.
To New York City, that is, from Brooklyn.
I have friends who send their kids to Mexico for Easter break and are 16 years old. And look, the closest I got to the Caribbean or Mexico back in those days was the world map in my bedroom, on my bedroom wall. That's just the way it was. But the same thing, in order to do well as a kid growing up in that environment, you did have to learn a certain amount of toughness, a certain amount of street smarts.
You better believe it, baby.
And I tell people, and I write in the book, the scene with John Travolta walking down the street with the paint can at the beginning.
That was me.
I said in the book, in my neighborhood, we all walk that way.
Absolutely. I still walk that way.
With attitude.
Listen. I think I'm loving you. Please send me an autographed copy of your book. I'm dying to read it.
It's not out yet. We're working on it.
When it's out, I will review it. I think it's going to be a fabulous book because for those of you listening, you have no idea what life was like in the 40s and 50s. The 1950s were probably the greatest years of American history. At 18 years old, my parents found out I was gay, and they sent me to Italy to go straight with my grandmother because they thought my grandmother could straighten me out. Meanwhile, the Italian men were the most wonderful men I had ever met. So they did me a favor. But 1950s, I had a convertible, and I used to park it in Manhattan with my sunglasses, and nobody stole the car or the sunglasses. Right. No parking meters. You could park anywhere. We used to hang out at a place called Gilday's in Woodside, Queens, and then we go next door to the that White Castle hamburgeria, and for 25 cents we got a hamburger and an orange drink. Those were the days. Drive-in movies, hiding your friends in the trunk so they didn't have to pay the $1.
That's the way it was.
I should let all the listeners and people who are watching know too, because you guys are both from similar areas in New York. You're both from New York. He's from
but I'm
Brooklyn.
older. I think I'm older than
You are
he is.
older, but you're from Brooklyn. And where are you from again?
Staten Island.
I don't know.
Staten Island.
From there, okay.
You know, think of the Verrazano Bridge.
Yeah, that's
everyone
it.
knows where that is. Matter of fact, today we're speaking from our offices that we produce Profiles, which is, I'm going to guess, a half a mile from the Staten Island Ferry.
See, when he speaks, my ears sing because he's got the accent. He just said it. I love his words. He's speaking like he's really cultivated to clean it up a little bit. But I can hear your Staten Island, almost Brooklyn. Staten Island and Brooklyn sound the same, you know. Everybody had a summer house in Staten Island from Brooklyn.
You know, Ron, it's interesting because I went to college in Missouri.
Okay.
You know, and
I went to college in Queens.
No, in Missouri. And when I first got there, I thought that everyone was different. And then I realized it was me that was different. You know?
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Peter said...
No, wait a minute. Every newscaster you hear, I fight with people. Out here where we live in Palm Springs, you've got such a New York accent. I said, no, you got a hick accent. I speak I speak the original English, which is what the newscasters speak on TV. If you listen to newscasters, they don't say, oh, it's real neat. What a hot day. They don't speak that way. So you have a perfect accent.
Yeah, I was, thank you. But I was there a week, and the speech and drama teacher pulled me aside and he said, I can fix you.
Oh, screw you, I would have told him.
How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? He said, simple. We just have to pronounce your ERs and your THs. Because right now you're saying, instead of saying power, you're saying power. And instead of saying that, you're saying that. If we could fix the THs and the ERs, you're halfway home to get rid of the New York accent.
And I would have said to him, I could fix your FUCKYOU. I'm a New Yorker, baby. I will never lose my accent. If I think I'm losing it, I go home and I go to Brooklyn and I sit there with all the Guido Guineas and I say, okay, let's go. Let's talk. And they say, ask me about it. Tell me over there what's going on. And I'm so happy to hear it.
Wait a sec. So how did you go to school in Missouri? Like, how did you pick Missouri?
Why Missouri?
I'm a football scholar. I played football in high school.
Oh.
When I was our team on Staten Island had won the city championship, and I was a running back, and I received a full scholarship to Missouri Valley College.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'11".
Okay, so you're a big guy.
By your name, you're Irish.
I'm Irish and German.
Okay, because Byrnes is Irish. Or it could be German. Byrnes could also be German. But it depends on how you...
It was my mother's side was Muller, so that was German.
Right.
My mother was Irish. My mother was totally 100% German.
Tell me a little bit more about your book.
Oh, hang on one second. The chat room, they want to know. In the chat room, they want to know what's a Guido.
A Guido is a slang word for a low-class Italian who's usually a hood, and he speaks incorrectly, and he looks like John Travolta in the movie Saturday Night Live.
and Ron, add a lot of chains.
Chains and
you got
platform shoes, and we have the Brooklyn Bop. I walk to this day. I mean, people make fun of how I walk. I can't help it. I walk with the Brooklyn Bop. We all did. I'm sure if I walked next to you in 2 minutes, the both of us would be walking the Brooklyn Bop.
In the book, I write about my Missouri experience as well. We say as a kid from the streets of New York in the Midwest, an education in itself. And I write, interestingly, the first week I was there, one of the professors said to me, I guess you're here to get degrees. And I said, of course, like everyone else. And he said, do you know what they stand for? And I said, I have no idea. He said, well, let me tell you. BS, which I eventually got, which is, it's a BS degree. It's a bachelor of science. But he said to me, you know what a BS degree stands for? I said, no. Bullshit, he said.
Yeah, bullshit. A bullshit degree.
Bullshit. He said, MS, which is a Master of Science. He said, MS stands for more shit.
More shit.
and he said, I know you aspire for a PhD. Do you know what that stands for? I said, no idea. He said, piled higher and deeper.
I can't wait to read your book. I cannot wait. I have about 12 books I have to read. I'm going to put you to the top of the list.
Right. So obviously the book talks about growing up as a kid in the projects, and then the only way I would have seen any college was through a scholarship, which I earned. Had a great 4 years out of Missouri. Interestingly, I went back in 2012 and I served as the commencement speaker at graduation. With 2,500 people in the football stadium, and it was 96 degrees and humid. And I remember the sweat was just running down my chest and through the cap and gown. And I said to the president, I said, if I go
I said ta-da. I love that. You just did Staten Island. You said I said ta-da. I said ta-da.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. Ta-da.
President.
I love it. I love it.
And she just said, if you go down, leave your notes and I'll finish your speech. But that was also a highlight of my life. And also I worked for 3 months on preparing that commencement address. It's not easy because you want to be compelling, a little bit of humor thrown in. And you don't want to make a fool of yourself. So
right now, listen. Staten Island was 80% Italian.
No
you
more.
You must have had a hard time back then being Irish, because the Irish and the Italian did not get along.
I talk about this in my book, and you're so right, because when I was in the 4th grade, it was like 95% Italian, me and one other Polish kid, and for some reason the teacher thought I was Italian, and she mistakenly called me Anthony. That's for Anthony. Anthony, she called. So I didn't even correct her for 3 months because I didn't want to be different. That's the way it was.
That's right. It was that way.
I didn't want to correct her. I'm Anthony. All right.
But we didn't have prejudice in my block. We had a black guy, and we had one black kid in our elementary school, and his name was Robert Taylor, by the way. And he was tall, and I was very tall. So we both played basketball together.
Right.
And I went to his house, I remember, in Brooklyn, and I met his mother. Big fat Aunt Jemima type lady, wonderful person. Right away, sit down, we can make you chicken or whatever. And it dawned on me one day that he was black.
Oh, yeah.
Can you believe that stupidity of the day? We didn't see it for some reason.
No.
It wasn't like nowadays. I think today everybody's made the emphasis on prejudice that we have become prejudiced. But back in my day, I hung out with Manny Rivera, was a Puerto Rican from Puerto Rico, my dearest friend in the world. Yep. We didn't have that in Brooklyn. How about you in Staten Island?
I'm going to mention a guest back. We didn't have it in the projects either.
No, why is that?
We were all in the same boat. We were all in the same boat. And the one thing we all had in common was nobody had any money. So nobody was better than anybody else. But everyone appeared to be happy, and I think we were.
We were happy. Are you kidding? Are you serious? We would play crackers on the curb. We would open the fire hydrant and jump underneath to cool off. We would play stickball. We would go in the schoolyard, make out with our girlfriends. What are you, crazy? Those days were the best.
They were. And I have friends who give their kids $20,000 Sweet 16 birthday parties, $20,000.
I got friends better.
And I write in the book that, when, for graduations and birthdays, the best we got, and we were happy to get it, was a good hamburger at a nice hamburger place. That was a big treat, or a pizza. That was a big treat out.
Oh, pizza was a lot of money. 15 cents a slice.
Right.
So here, I want to move this conversation a little bit. First of all,
I'm loving it.
Because we don't have a ton of time, and I want to go over a couple.
Oh,
of
you're
things.
my new best friend.
Number
by
one,
the way. You are. I'm coming to New York. We're having lunch, and we're going to have a ball. I'm serious. I'm not bullshitting you. I don't blow smoke. I'm serious. We're going to. No, you don't have to pay. We'll split the bill. We'll do it New York style. You pay yours, I pay mine. I don't want anybody.
So hang on, though. Okay, so hold on,
but
everybody.
I'm serious. I think you and I really
would
head it off. We've got
Byrnes.
so much to talk about.
This is Mickey Byrnes from Profiles of Mickey Byrnes. Everybody. First of all, people who are in New York, how do they watch your show? Where do they go? What time is it? Give us some information.
That's a good question. It's called Profiles with Mickey Byrnes. It's been on for 20 years. It's on channel 25 in the tri-state area, which includes New Jersey, Connecticut, Long Island, upstate New York, and of course all 5 boroughs. It's on the NYC Media Network, channel 25. It's a great channel. I always said Oprah wish she had channel 25 when she was at 335 or something like that.
Are you on YouTube?
I don't think so.
Put yourself on YouTube so we could watch you out in California.
What we have on YouTube are 10-minute teasers of older interviews.
Put a full show on so we could see you. I'd love to see your show.
But
we're going to be going there.
You know, we're coming to New York. I'm in a movie now. I think we're shooting it in. I don't know where we're shooting it, but I'm going to watch you. Matter of fact, I'm going to come in your studio and watch you live.
That would be great. But you can also go. You can also go and onto the network's website, which is NYC Media, and then you can go to television.
Too sophisticated for me.
And all the shows.
I don't know how to do that.
Everybody else
all
can
the
do.
shows are listed there, and you hit profiles, and I think they post our last 10 shows.
There you go. That works.
I want to see your Joan Collins show because there's a chance.
You got to go to YouTube. It should be there.
There's a chance I could have had Joan Collins on Set the Record, and I was advised not to. They said your personality and her personality are identical.
Nah,
and we're both Geminis.
So we'll try to get her. I can get her.
You know, and I think that.
So hold on. Okay, let me keep going.
I saw her at lunch one day here in L.A. and she was breathtakingly gorgeous. I've got to tell you, she was an old bit. She was about 60. I think so. I think I'd like to interview Joan Collins.
Okay, so hold on. So first of all, because everybody in the chat room is asking about the book, we don't know when the book's coming out yet, right?
The book should be out the first of the year.
All right, everybody.
And the title again is
From the Projects to Profiles, a memoir by
I
Mickey.
love it. I love the title, From the Projects. Nobody mentions projects anymore. Did you know that I was born? Wait, one thing I'm going to tell them. Do you know where I was born? I was born in the Red Hook Projects, my friend.
I know well.
Top floor. Okay.
We're blood brothers.
Yes, 1940. I was born in 1940. Top floor of the Red Hook Projects on Columbia Street. 40. I almost remember my address. 40 something Columbia Street.
Yeah. I wanted to mention that Eileen Shapiro, the publicist, the celebrity publicist, will be doing publicity for the book. And will be published by New Haven Publishing, they're out of England.
Yes.
Well, I intend to push it to the max because it's a history that I don't want forgotten or lost. And everybody's asking me to write a book, and I really should because I've been in the business 58 years and I've met everybody probably in the business. It would be a name-dropping book about the people that I know. But I always say, listen, if I were a plumber and I went to a party and I said I just finished doing Joe Blow's house, his toilet, nobody would think anything of it. But if I say I just got back from lunch with Jane Russell, they go, oh, name dropping.
Yeah.
So I don't get it.
And I did want to mention that the last chapter is called The Legacy Question, because I had mentioned to you, last question in every interview is, what do you hope your legacy will be? We went back into the archives and pulled that answer from 500 episodes, and that's the last chapter. So we have Joan Collins' legacy, we have Joan Rivers, George Foreman.
Clever. Very interesting. Good.
You know, and they're all there, and it's really inspiring, funny, heartwarming, all of that.
That's a very smart thing. I cannot wait. When is your book coming out?
In January. Let me talk, please.
I'll let you.
Hey,
talk.
everybody! So listen up. So the book's going to be coming out in January. We'll have Mickey come back when the book actually comes out, so that way we can help promote it. Let's ask you a bucket list question. So you've interviewed, hundreds and hundreds of huge celebrities. Who's on your bucket list? Give me like a male and a female that you have not had a chance.
It's a great question, and again, in my book, I put down. I always have a list on my next to my desk, the top 5 people that I aspire to get on the show. Right on top is Tom Jones.
Oh my God, that's mine too.
I just had Engelbert Humperdinck on the show.
You gotta be kidding.
Fabulous. Engelbert, can I tell you an Engelbert Humperdinck story?
Yes.
I said to Engelbert, in your biography, you wrote that you made love to 3,000 women. I said, is that accurate? He says, Mickey, let me put it to you this way. Less work for my wife.
Tom Jones would be at the top of is one of the top of mine.
I can't believe Tom Jones. I mean, really and truly, he was such a nobody.
Wait, keep going. Who else?
Pete Rose, which I believe I'm going to be able to schedule in September because I want to talk about the Hall of Fame dilemma.
Yes.
Raquel Welch.
Uh-oh, beware.
She turned us down.
Tough broad. I know Raquel. Tough. Watch it.
Beautiful.
Watch it.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Intelligent.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that.
And very quick to cut.
Yes, but she's on the list. And Tom Hanks. Because
sweetheart of a man.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And Robert Wagner had been on it, and then we just had him on last year. What a sweet guy he was.
Yeah, RJ is cool. I like him a lot.
You know,
we used to
that's a good one.
We used to eat in the same restaurant on Thursdays.
I did. Tom Jones is the only one that because I want Charlize Theron and I want and like he doesn't know why, but like for me, Molly Ringwald is like a big deal. I want Molly Ringwald.
Do you have time for me to tell you a Tom Jones story?
Yes.
1980, I'm with Tom Jones backstage. I was working for Channel 5 News, and he gave us tickets in the front row. And right next to me is his girlfriend. And all during because people used to say, you resemble Tom Jones. And during
You do not. You better.
This is when I was younger. I'm going back 1980.
Tom Jones looks like shit now. You look good.
Thank you. But his girlfriend kept flirting with me. And I said to Bill McCreary, who was sitting next to me, I feel very uncomfortable because, that she's flirting. I felt uncomfortable about it. And so I said, I got to ask her. I said, why, you're Tom's girl. Why are you flirting with me? And she said, yeah, I'm Tom Jones's girlfriend this weekend.
Oh, well.
I love it.
I was a little slow on the, Ron, I know that's a tough one. But
no comment.
I know
No, I got it, but I'm not a fan of Tom Jones because
I am a huge fan.
I won't go into it, but someone I know very well was very close to Tom Jones, so I know who Tom Jones really is in his real life, and I'm not too thrilled about his outlook of certain people.
Okay,
there you go.
But he's on my list.
That's good. I think it's good.
Find out what he thinks of gay people.
Okay, all right. I'll find out.
So you guys, this is Mickey.
You know who
Byrnes.
I want on my list?
Who?
I made a film with her, 1959, Sophia Loren. I would love to see Sophia again, and I'm going to try to contact her to have her on our show.
And beautiful.
It's been 50-something years since we kissed, and she kissed me on the cheek goodbye. I'm Italian. I speak Italian fluently.
Yes.
She was 26 years old. Her English was very poor.
Yes.
So on the set, I was a soldier. They used to tell me, get away from her. You're not allowed to go near Tab Hunter, who I was in love with, who became my buddy years later. Tab and I were best of friends.
Yes.
And I would love to see Sophia again.
All right. So we're out of time real quick.
Would
So
you
here's what
get
we
Sophia?
We got to go.
Wait, are you going to get Sophia on your show?
I would love to, but I don't even know if she's in the United States right now.
It doesn't matter. We could Skype. We have Skype.
He's live. He's live.
Well, so we're live also.
No, he's live. I mean, he's not live. He's in a studio. You have to go in a studio.
Your tape? You tape?
Yes.
We tape in studio. Yes.
So you could tape it. You could Skype tape it.
We've been studioing it, and that's the way I think we're going to continue.
All right, you got good 20 years success. I'm not going to talk about.
So here's what we're going to do,
What's
everybody.
To say?
Okay, so you guys make sure to turn into profiles with Mickey Byrnes. He's on social media, but he doesn't really do it. You need to get back on your Twitter and stuff.
Yes. I do Facebook and I do Instagram somewhat. But you're right. I kind of got off of Twitter.
And then here's the next thing. Then, so before we say goodbye, we want to ask one last question, and then we're going to steal it from your playbook. So, what do you want your legacy to be?
See, now you're turning the tables on me.
That's a smart question.
I think that after our 500 episodes, that in some respect we've entertained people, in some respect we educated people. But most importantly, we hope that through our broadcast that we've made some people better. That's my
There you go.
legacy.
I've interviewed over 4,000 people, celebrities, okay? It's true in my 58 years. And I would say that my legacy would be to my audience, I hope I made you happy. And I hope I made you laugh, because that's what it's all about.
Yes.
It's not about money, that's for sure.
Well, both Ron and Jimmy, you're doing a wonderful job, and I wish
Thank
you
you.
continued
So sweet.
success in what you do. It's very important.
Yeah, we're successful, and I don't understand why. Sometimes I say, Jimmy, I don't get it. But yeah, we were the number one media show
web
in the world, web show in the world, and that's quite an honor.
I think you both have a knack for bringing out the best in people.
Well, you know what it is? You know what it is? I tell all of our guests, I didn't have to tell you, pretend you're in Brooklyn in my kitchen and we're having Entenmann crumb cake and coffee, and we're just bullshitting.
That's
And that's the success to our show. We're not an interview show or a conversation show. We interrupt, we talk back and forth. So our audiences feel like they're visiting with us. Everyone out there tells me that. I felt like I was visiting with you and your guest. So that's our success. And yours is you're brilliant, and you're in your New York, my dear, and you're on and you're on television. I hate your guts. You know, I mean, my thrill would be to be in New York live on television. Yeah, coming out of New York. I miss my New York so much. Palm Springs is wonderful. I love the swimming and the weather and driving my convertible. But I miss my dirty New York, the smell of taxi cabs, people pushing, saying, go fuck yourself. I mean, you know, the subway getting felt up by other homos. I loved it.
So, Mickey, we want to thank you for coming on the show. When the book comes out, we'll definitely have you come back.
Absolutely.
And we wish you continued success with getting your top 5.
You're a sweetheart.
We hope you get them all.
How could he not have success?
And anytime you need anything, let us know. We'll help cross promote any way we can.
You're a mensch.
I've enjoyed it immensely. Thank you so much.
True.
Thank
and
you.
we're having lunch, and don't bullshit me, because I'll tell everybody on the air, you're full of shit. You never met me for lunch. I'll ruin you. I'll disgrace you.
You got a date, Ron.
Okay,
all right, Mickey. Thanks so much.
See you soon, baby.
Bye-bye.
What a pleasure.
Right,
what
everybody.
a nice guy.
Absolutely.
What a
Everybody, that was
wonderful
Mickey
interview.
Byrnes. We're going to take a quick music break. Hey,
great interview, Mick. Great.
Scott and Danielle, do you guys have the Drop Top Alibi song?
Hold on 1 second.
You forgot my name.
Yes.
A video called Burn. We're going to play it, but don't call the guest yet. We got to play the song and then come back, and I got to say a couple of things, and then we come back.
I so enjoyed that interview. I cannot wait to have lunch with this guy. We are going to talk about what it was when we were kids and how wonderful it was. I love to meet people from my time.
All right. You guys have the song Burn?
Yes, I do.
Scotty J?
Yep.
I'll enjoy. All right, everybody. This is a cool, super cool new rock band. Their name is Drop Top Alibi. This is their award-winning single, Burn. Enjoy.
It's almost divine. After a whole diety and self can't compete, she's feeling the rhythm beneath all your feet. Starting a fire to burn out the sky. She don't care if you laugh or you cry. So come and play and watch her burn. She may never return. Baby, burn it down to the ground. dancing, you're moving so fine. A beauty so sublime, it's almost divine. Aphrodite, herself can't compete. She's feeling the rhythm beneath all your feet.
Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah.
You guys, that's Drop Top Alibi. The name of the single is Burn, and they got a new single coming out in about a month, and it was all produced by, if you guys remember when we had Michael Hansen on from Glass Tiger, and he produced the albums, and I think they're just freaking like awesome. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be working with them, and they'll be on the show eventually. So before we call our next guest, we want to make sure everybody knows where they can tune into the Jimmy Star Show. We are live every Wednesday from 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on W4CY Radio with the fabulous Ron Russell, Danielle, and Scotty J. We're also on K4HD Radio in LA, Hit 1069 FM in New York, Jackalope Radio in Kansas City. We're on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, Audio Boom, Podomatic, Spreaker, Apple TV, and Podbean. And on television, you can see us on YouTube, Celebra Media, VIP Television, Roku, and Comcast. What a mouthful.
We're like diarrhea. We're all over.
That's right. We're like diarrhea. We're all over. And,
meanwhile, Jimmy, look at us on television. Look how cute we look.
We look great. Okay.
I love my Jimmy, even though I beat him with the microphone. I enjoyed our guest so much. I really, really cannot wait to get to New York and have lunch with him. I'm going to have so many stories to tell you about it. What are we going to talk about now? Oh, Screwball's coming on.
Oh, we're gonna get him.
The Dementia's coming on.
Real quick before we
I
call,
love him. I love him. I love Jason.
No, we're gonna call him right now, actually. So you guys, we're gonna do is we're gonna play "Careless Whisper." It's Jason Prince's version of the George Michael song. Before we get him on, and
he is so crazy. He is so fabulous. He is so warm, outgoing, loving, touchy, kissy, huggy. He is a sweetheart.
Do you?
I absolutely love him.
You guys have the video, right?
Yes, I do.
Yep.
Scotty J.
And he's also beautiful in drag.
All right, on here we go. All right, everybody, this is Jason Prince, "Careless Whisper." We're gonna get him on the phone. Here we go.
Feel so unsure as I take your hand and lead you to the dance floor. As the music dies, something in your eyes calls to mind the silver screen and all its sad goodbyes. I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feeling I got no rhythm. Though it's easy to pretend, I know you're not a fool. Should've known better than to cheat a friend and waste the chance that I have been given. So I'm never gonna dance again the way I danced with you. Never without you, without your love. Comfort find each other with the things I want to say. Could have been so good together. Could have lived this dance forever.
And now, who's gonna dance with me?
Please stay. That you treat a friend. A wasted chance that I have been given. So I'm never gonna dance again the way I dance with you. Never without you, without 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 you.
You look so butch. I had to ask Jimmy, are you sure that's
What
Jason?
version of Butch is Butch to you then, Ron?
Oh my God, you look like a man there. Look like a real tough guy. Oh my God.
Only my dark roots that I haven't done because you looked at me from behind.
Hang on, we gotta
Yes,
do an
I see
introduction.
that.
All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome. First of all, in the chat room, they're saying he's so talented, smart, fun, good-looking, with a heart of gold. We want to welcome DJ Jason Prince to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Hello.
Yeah, hey guys, it's so lovely to see you again. How are you guys?
Good. I have to say one thing about Jason. He's kissy, touchy, lovey, warm, and wonderful, and one of the most outgoing people I know. And I'm kind of sorry he lives in England. I wish he lived in California.
I'm sorry I live in England. Well, I should meet you guys.
Yeah, right. Well, you could sleep on Eileen's breasts because
You
she's
know
always
what? When I stayed with Eileen for a month, it was one of the best months I've had in years. I just absolutely loved it. She looked after me so well. She suckled me every day.
I'm sure you suckled her back. No, but I love Eileen. You don't have to sell her to us, that's for sure.
So say hi to everybody in the chat room. They're all talking about how great you are, what great hair you have, how talented you are, what a wonderful smile. I mean,
Hi,
God,
everybody in the chat room. I
That's
didn't go on the chat
unbelievable.
room tonight because Matt and Martin have been looking after the technical side. So I'm here just on my phone here. But hi to everybody in the chat room.
yay! And then say hi to Danielle and Scotty J.
You on a cell
Hi,
phone?
Danielle. Hi, Scotty J. I just had a little word with Scotty J before I came on because he
Yes,
said I've got
Jason.
multiple Skype addresses, he said.
Yeah.
I think it's because I always forget the password, so I have to start a new account every time I talk to you. But don't tell him.
Billy Hess and Eileen are in the chat room, and people are saying how lucky they are because they've gotten to meet you in person.
Well, that's so lovely. Hi, everybody. And
Make
hi,
sure you
Eileen.
say hi to
Billy.
Say hi.
Wait, Billy Hess, you don't like any of my stuff on Facebook anymore. Did I do something to offend you, you motherfucker?
Billy Hess in the chat room.
Huh? Is it Billy?
Billy
in
Hess
the
says
chat room?
Billy says use your grinder. I don't know what that.
The only way to contact Billy is with Grindr. I love him.
Are you
and
kidding?
As for that mark, the hair, you know.
Are you kidding,
like,
Billy?
He put on Facebook this week that he might be being papped, so he have to start being good. And I put underneath it, yes, Mark, you're already good at being bad. That's for sure.
After Billy has,
Wouldn't it be good?
wait, after Billy has left
He
Fire,
says loves you.
Wait, after Billy left Fire Island and the meat rack, I understand that. No, I understand that 6 ambulance boats went over the main line to the island to pick up the people that were laying in the meat rack from overexposure, oversex, and drained of every bit of energy. So that's Billy Hess.
I never went to the meat rack, much to Billy's dismay. I didn't actually end up going.
That's because you're an elegant lady. He wouldn't go in the meat rack.
I'm not so sure, but yeah.
I'm not so sure. So also, give a shout out.
First of all, you should see what's in the meat rack. Years ago, we took a walk, a whole gang of us. We went in the meat rack. I mean, some of those guys really, they better stay in the meat rack and never come out because they were horrible looking creatures. I mean, you don't get gorgeous, beautiful guys with the bodies of death in the meat rack. You get all the, I guess the guys that can't get picked up in a bar and they go in the meat rack because it's for the desperates. Billy,
I don't know. I'm not sure. I never went there, so I don't know. I can't comment. No
So-
comment.
Well, I've been in the meat rack, not shopping. Believe me, trust me, not shopping. Ugh.
Ron doesn't like it. Ron
No.
doesn't like those things. So hold on. First
No,
of
I
all,
like a bed.
we need you to say hi to B. Claudia in Germany because she's like one of your biggest fans. So say hi to B.
Me in Germany, yeah.
Yay!
Hi, how are you? Do you know what? Careless Whisper was actually released on a German label, which was Sounds United Records, and it went into the charts in Germany. That
There you
was
go.
before I had the thing going with Trax Records. I had a deal with Sounds United in Germany with a guy called Dieter, was the A&R guy. And yeah, he's big on the German record scene. So yeah, my Careless Whisper remix did best in Germany out of every other country. So B, Careless Whisper.
Yay! Billy Hess says no more meat rack. There's only bugs there.
Probably.
I don't think he made it to the meat rack when I went to Fire Island with him.
No, but in 1968,
Right, not
the meat
69.
No, the meat rack was like incredible. Every gorgeous model guy, everybody used to be in the meat rack. Over the years, I think I've heard rumor that it's depleted. Well, Fire Island's not what it was.
I'll have to abstain from commenting about the meat rack, I'm afraid.
No, but seriously,
we do
Fire-
have similar places in the UK. Would you like to hear about them?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was talked into going somewhere the other day with my lovely friend Scott, who's the music producer here, and he wanted to take me for an outdoor swim at Hampstead Heath Swimming Lakes, okay? And I won't give any of his secrets away, but it did take a while to get there because he took me the long way and he kept mysteriously going missing on the journey towards the lakes. Now, I went just to swim, obviously, you know, as a good, clean, living young man. And but I think there was definitely extracurricular activities going on around the bushes around the outside of the lake, shall we say?
You know when
Billy Hess is on his way.
No, Billy says says Eileen's house on the island is the new meat rack.
That's why he didn't need to leave. That's that downstairs room and people come in and out the window.
Well, when Jimmy and I stayed at Eileen's house, it was about 4:00 in the morning, and I heard activity downstairs, like banging noises and stuff. I went down, and Colin was entertaining 4 different guys.
Colin.
So I love Colin too, and so that was that.
So when we went to,
I threw them all out by
when
the
we
way.
were in LA, when Billy and Eileen were here, we went to the bathroom in Beverly Hills, and we went to the restroom where George Michael got arrested.
Oh, George Michael frequented Hampstead Heath. He had a house on the back of it, so that's where he did his cruising a lot. Yeah.
I miss George Michael.
But Eileen went in the men's room to take a picture, so there she was standing next to the urinal.
Eileen's an honorary gay man. She can go into any backstreet bar. She can go to the meat rack. She can go to the Hampstead pools. She'll be #1 VIP guest list any gay cruising area, guaranteed.
Wait, did you know that Fire Island has a hotel? I forgot the name of it, but the hotel only allows men in it. Women cannot go in. Not allowed.
Ah, it's not the one that looks a bit like a church, is it?
Yeah, it's a castle.
It looks like a castle.
And Eileen is the only woman that is allowed to go in that castle.
I know, yes, actually, now you say that. Although she does have the rainbow flag in her hair, so she's definitely an honorary gay man, isn't she? Come on.
That's right.
Well, she comes out of that castle, and if you're standing outside, she'll say, go to the dining room. There's a guy in there 8 inches. Now, if you go to the hallway, there's a guy with 10 inches. Now, if you go upstairs to the bedroom, there's a guy with 12
How did I
inches.
end up on the topic of cruising on our show?
I don't know.
Here, Ron? This is your
Oh,
bad influence.
They call it the Belvedere. It's the Belvedere Guest House.
Belvedere Guest
And B.
House.
Claudia just said she found Jason in the dance charts in Germany.
Oh, yes, that's right. I was, yes. Yeah.
So tell us what's going on with.
Now, wait a minute. We're not going to talk anymore about gay cruising. We're going to talk about religion. We're going to talk about religion. Did you go to church Sunday?
When I was a little boy, I went to church against sort of the will of my family, really, because my mother, like when her father died, she sort of gave up on religion. My granddad was a scoutmaster, so they was all brought up very, very religious. And then when he died, and he died very young, and he had a horrible, nasty death, and it turned my mum against religion because she couldn't understand how someone so wonderful was taken in such a cruel way so young. But I wanted to go to church because I just loved singing. So I wanted to be in the choir, and to be in the choir, you had to go to church. And I loved it. I just loved everybody singing and all this. It was my first taste of really singing was joining the church choir. So yeah, I loved it.
Did you have to sleep with the priest to get to be an altar
No,
boy?
I didn't even realise that was the perks of the job. If I'd have known, I would have been there all guns a-blazing.
I would have been too. That's the only reason why I went.
It wasn't Catholic, it was Church of England. You know, how Henry VIII rewrote religion for us so that we didn't have to do any of the bad bits, only the fun bits. Henry VIII rewrote religion.
I'm not Catholic, but I loved all the priests and pastors of all the church I went to. I would have gone with them in a heartbeat if I would have had an opportunity. They were gorgeous.
And I was
later on after the show, I'm going to send you a photo of one of the nights that I used to do in London called Confessions. I'm not going to say any more about it, but if you do feel like reposting it, it is fun. I'm not going to say any more.
Okay.
The slogan was, on the seventh day, the Lord rested, but there's no rest for the wicked. It was my Sunday night club night. Yeah.
There you go.
I was best man at a wedding, and the priest came on to me gangbusters at the party, and I let him have it publicly, and everybody turned on me.
She doesn't mean have it like have
No,
it.
no.
He means
I know what you're saying.
No, I had been drinking, and I got loose-lipped, and I said, listen, you faggot, leave me alone, whatever. And everybody was against me. Everybody at the wedding thought,
why?
Yeah, but they thought I was horrible to say such a thing to this man.
Oh, right, to someone such stature.
And meanwhile, he was
I think
trying to feel me up under the table. He was he was a pig.
You lucky thing.
No. I believe if you're a priest, stay celibate. If you want to fool around with guys, become a drag queen. Period.
Yeah.
So let's talk about.
You still dress up and everything, I suppose. Anyway.
Those priests.
Let's talk about
nuns.
Jason Prince's music career. He's got a Trax Records thing behind him, which is all washed out, so we can't see it. But I know that's what it said.
I didn't know if I'd done that right, but basically, after the Sounds United thing, our Eileen, obviously, and Jimmy have changed my life. When I came to America, introduced me to everybody. Played my music to everybody, and that, along with my producers, Scott, Jose, and Nixie, coming up with a new concept of my music to have a bit of an American taste. Trax Records said yes, and I've been very lucky to have an American single out with Trax Records. It's been doing ever so well, and they've included me on their 35-year album, their 35-year birthday album. So I feel so
compilation,
so over the moon.
So Wouldn't It Be Good? Is that the one that's going to be on the compilation?
Yeah, it's Wouldn't It Be Good? We released it as a single. They released it as a single with our American style version, plus our Euro style version, plus a couple of sort of housey mixes as well. And we've done 2 videos. An American video, which is very sort of grainy, black and white. I think you've seen it.
We're going to play it in a minute.
More sort of Sam Smith style, maybe. Very different to what I'd usually do. And then we had our already Euro version, which is really colourful, really cheesy, like what I'd usually do for Europe. And I've just been over the moon. Both versions work really, really well. And it was the choice of Scott Jose, who produces my music with Nick. And it just really fell into place. And I was quite nervous. The black and white video and the vocal is the main thing on the ballady version. And I was quite nervous because I'm so used to having all the effects, like the high energy, the delays, the auto-tune, everything, the double tracking. And then when it came to doing the American version, we noticed that the things that were in the top 10 of the American charts that were English were more, really stripped back, just the piano, a really good vocal that sounded live. This was new territory for me to release a record like that. And then to do a grainy video with no airbrushing, I wasn't really sure. But anyway, it's all turned out
love it.
well, so.
I think it's the best thing you ever did. I love the slow version. I think it's
the most American thing I've ever done.
Yeah, maybe it's too. I guess I'm so American, but I love it.
With all of this, can't you get them to pay for your trip here, and you could go on tour? You should be touring the United States.
Fantastic. I mean, I have been to America 3 times in a year, didn't I? I went to New York twice, and obviously I came to LA and caught up with you guys as well.
Yeah,
that's right.
Party that you invited Ollie and me to when we was filming the documentary and stuff. So, the thing is I can't get enough of America. I just would literally up and leave tomorrow if the opportunity aroused. So I'm putting out there to the universe, and with the little help that I'm getting from Jimmy, from you, from Eileen, from Rachel, from all these people, tiny little pieces of the puzzle are coming together, and I'm trying to still, you guys are keeping me with the program, getting me to write reviews, getting me to do music with different people, send it across, even though I'm here in the UK. So hopefully, one of these things, or all of them, hopefully, will mean a chance to come back a lot more.
Here's a tip to the wise. Italy, Greece, Spain are overloaded with foreigners that are coming in, mostly Syrians. Italy has stopped it and said no more. Europe is fed up with all these people that are coming in. America is getting annoyed with the illegal people coming in. So why don't you just come in illegally? What the fuck? I mean, what's good for the
blonde?
No, what's good? What's good?
Illegally blonde.
Listen, who's this? Wait, hang on.
If you want to come back and visit your folks and that, then that's it. Then you can't ever get back in again.
No. The next president we have won't be Trump. Whoever it will be is going to make everyone here illegally legal. So get your ass here, hang out, and become illegal.
I just happened to be there when they changed the laws.
Yeah.
Give me the heads up on that, and I'll fly over.
Okay, this way you could move to Palm Springs. This way you could move to Palm Springs, and we could hang out.
They all want you.
I've never been to Palm Springs yet. That's next on my list to come and see you guys. That'd be absolutely lovely.
Palm Springs will never get over it.
They want you in Cologne, Germany. They want you to go to Germany.
I've been to Cologne. I've been to Frankfurt. I've sung in both of those. I did a New Year's Eve gig in Cologne one year at their the Club Glorias. When my high energy tracks years ago were really big in Germany, like, I don't know, about 15 years ago, and they booked me to do their main big gay club Glorias on New Year's Eve. And it was an absolutely fantastic gig, and I came and stayed in Germany for a week and stuff. Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Twism White Piece wants to know if you do collabs. I think he collabs. Twism White Piece is a hip hop guy.
How is collabs?
Collaboration.
Oh, excuse me. The word was
I am
too long.
up for collaborations, actually. Look, I'm doing stuff. Can I bring my mate into the fold? My DJ.
Yeah, bring him in.
Look, now this is Fat Matt, PHAT. Come and get in there. Look, hey, my mate.
Fat Matt, what's up?
He's been my DJ protege, or maybe I'm his DJ protege for years. But he's got such an excellent voice that one day he was in the studio with Scott, and he just started like singing in the background. So it was like, I didn't know you could sing. Anyway, we've ended up getting him in to do a single. We've done a cover of We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off.
I love that.
America, but it certainly was over here. And it's very unexpected getting like thousands of streams. Like it's just great. I'm so proud of him. So he's gone from being our resident DJ to being our new singer. So look out for that on YouTube.
Way to go, Fat Matt.
You don't have to take our clothes off, Fat Matt. Right? Yeah.
Who sings we don't have to take
all the time, you know.
Who sings we don't have to take our clothes off?
Jermaine Stewart was
Jermaine Stewart. Yes.
Stewart is,
okay.
Yeah. And Matt is our other friend is Martin Anksy Media, and he's singing with Anksy Media and Club Kids Productions and everything. So I'm proud of this boy. I'm really proud of this boy.
Way to go! I love it. They're all hashtagging him in the chat room. So here's what I want to do. I want everybody to hear the American version of Wouldn't It Be Good?
Lovely. Yeah.
So Danielle and Scotty J, do you guys have it?
Yep.
Scotty J, you got it?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jason's going to introduce it, and when he finishes introducing it, he's going to say enjoy. And when he says enjoy, you guys play it. Got it?
Okay.
All right. Go for it, Jason. And make sure you say enjoy at the end. That's how they know how to play it.
I will. This is my latest Tracks record single featured on the 35-year birthday celebration album. It's Jason Prince, Wouldn't It Be Good? Enjoy.
I got it bad, you don't know how bad I got it. You got it easy, you don't know when you got it good. It's getting harder, just keeping life and soul together. I'm sick of fighting, even though I know I should. The cold is biting through each and every nerve and fiber. My broken spirit It's frozen to the core. I don't wanna be here no more. Wouldn't it be good to be in your shoes, even if it was for just one day? Wouldn't it be good if we could wish ourselves away? Wouldn't it be good to be on your side? The grass is always greener over there. Wouldn't it be good if we could live without a care? You must be joking, you don't know a thing about it. You've got no problem, I'd stay right there if I were you. I got it harder, you couldn't dream how hard I got it. Stay out of my shoes, if you know what's good for you. The heat is stifling, burning me up from inside. The sweat is coming through each and every pore. I don't wanna be here no more. I don't wanna be here. Wouldn't it be good to be in your shoes, even if it was for just one day? Wouldn't it be good if we could wish ourselves away? Wouldn't it be good to be on your side? The grass is always greener over there. Wouldn't it be good if we could live without a care? Wouldn't it be good to be in your shoes, even if it was for just one day? Wouldn't it be good if we could wish ourselves away? Wouldn't it be good to be on your side? The grass is always greener over there. Wouldn't it be good if we could live without a care?
Yay, everybody!
Yay.
So that was "Wouldn't It Be Good" by Jason Prince. You guys, it's his American debut on Trax Records. It's a remake of the Nick Kershaw song that was in the hit film Pretty in Pink with Molly Ringwald, and it's a freaking awesome video. Everybody in the chat room loves it. They're all clapping, and they all love it. And they want to know, what studio are you in right now?
I'm in the Club Kids studio, our very own studio here in Barbican in central London, right in the centre of EC1. And we run this together. We have all of the 80s stars, the 90s stars. It's been just like a labour of love for me, because all of my idols from when I was a kid have all come in here to do their new albums. Now we're starting to get a lot of new artists in. We're breaking artists as well. And now we're just going into a new trend of having reality stars come in and do songs with us, because reality stars is the kids' superstars. Like, what we see as superstars, they don't even get it. Like, if someone's on a reality show now over here, if they're on Made in Chelsea, if they're on Love Island, if they're on Gogglebox, they are the stars of today. So many people are sort of going against this, thinking it's not, but we're just going with it. And because over the years of me doing all these pride shows and different things, I've met so many of these people, and I just get on with them like a house on fire. My favourite one being Sandy from our top reality show, Gogglebox. She's been on loads of other reality TV shows, but she's probably our #1 reality star over here. And I've been such good friends with her. I brought her into the studio. I was so surprised when I first ever heard her sing on stage. And we've just written a song for her. So that's going to be our new song. Ollie and me actually wrote it with her, with Scott Jose.
Ollie London, everybody.
Yeah,
Ollie
Ollie's
London.
been writing with me. Like, we've got a real writing connection going on now. So we've been writing his songs, we've been writing my songs. Now we've written Sandy's song, and we produced it with Scott. So we're on a bit of a roll. So we're doing her video next week, but she's like a household name here. She's like our biggest reality star, and she's got a great voice. She's a great girl. So I'm really pleased to be doing all this. It's fantastic.
Do you know Martin Fry?
Martin Fry.
He's from ABC. Do you know the band?
Oh,
ABC?
yes, of course, yes. I don't know him personally, no, but I know exactly. You shoot the poison arrow and everything.
Yeah, I love Martin Fry. I love ABC.
I do. I think he's fantastic. Yeah.
I would love to get him.
Mexican of Love album is like one of the biggest albums of all time.
Ever.
It's just absolutely 80s amazing. Yeah, I love it.
ABC and Go West. Do you remember Go West, or you're not?
We Close Our Eyes. Now, what an amazing vocalist he was as well. Whenever you hear him live, I mean, crikey, he leaves everybody standing, doesn't he? Yeah.
I tweet to them all the time.
Two of the people, actually, you picked probably two of the people that I don't know personally, funnily enough, out of all the ones I do. But yeah, both of them absolutely amazing artists. Yeah, both of them. I look up to them a lot. Yeah.
Do you know Gary Barlow?
Gary Barlow.
I didn't know he's big in America.
Yeah, is Gary Barlow big in America? Is he?
No, I'm a big boy band person, and so I've been to the UK probably 20 times, and I used to always go and buy all the boy band albums.
She knows the music both sides of the just as well both sides of the Atlantic. Yeah.
Yeah, I like you guys' music better, so I was a big Take That fan, and Gary Barlow. I have all his like albums, and I watch him.
Oh, lovely! Yeah, what a great songwriter, without a doubt. He's a fantastic songwriter. I mean, personally, from the Take That group, I always preferred Robbie. So, but he, you know, because he was the naughty one, wasn't he? So
yeah, he's the naughty one, and he was the judge on X Factor last year.
That's right. He was. That's right. He was. Yeah.
He wasn't a good judge though, and they had his wife as a judge. They were like,
I think it was a way to make his wife famous. I think she wanted to be famous, so I think he went on to help her.
She is famous here, though. She's famous here. His wife.
Is she? Okay, well, because
not real famous, but you know, for some reason. You know who else I like? Paul Andre. Is his name Paul Andre?
Peter Andre.
I like Peter Andre.
Peter Andre had a huge hit called Mysterious Girl. In fact, he had a few hits, but he was most famous for actually marrying Katie Price, who's Jordan, who was our like top glamour model.
Yes.
And she's like a complete media whore. Like, she's just absolutely on every show, everything. She's always been on everything. So marrying her was probably like made him more of a household name than any of his hits, funnily enough, really. Like, which just says it all now. Basically, everybody that's just a reality star is the stars. Young people see reality stars as their stars. Okay, they don't see things. The Hollywood glamour and that sort of goes over their head, or real talent seems to go over their head. It's kind of they want their stars to be someone that it could be them. It's like anyone can like wake up one day and end up on a reality show and be a superstar. And I don't know, it just taps into kids' dreams in some way that they could be that person, especially with this whole Instagram, Facebook, everything.
Oh, there he is.
You know, you're constantly seeing how many likes you got and this, that, and the other. And I think like that's where that generation is. You've either got to go with it or get left behind, I guess.
I can't stand the reality stars here in America because they all think they're really big, but oh well, what are you going to do?
They're huge here, absolutely huge, yeah.
What's the biggest reality show?
Love Island. And funnily enough, the power of Love Island, let me tell you something, Rosala, who over here is like a legendary like 90s artist, really, like club diva. She had one of the biggest club hits of all time.
Feel Good, right? Doesn't she do Feel Good?
Everybody's Free to Feel Good.
Okay.
Lots of hits, but she was actually Michael Jackson's favourite singer, and he requested her to go on tour with him, which is an amazing claim to fame for his last tour. And Everybody's Free to Feel Good is a very inspirational song. It's been in and out of the charts for many years, but the funny thing is people are kind of starting to forget about Rosala a bit. Then they featured Everybody's Free on Love Island, and the next week she went back into the top 40 of the UK chart, just from being played once on Love Island and everybody in Love Island dancing to it. It's crazy, no? I mean, I was lucky. I've written her latest single, Rosala. I think you heard it before, Turn on the Light. But yeah, she went back into the charts after one play on Love Island. That's the power of reality, yeah?
Oh my God! Ron hates those reality shows. He doesn't like why we don't really watch any of them.
They're made for teenagers. That's who they're made for. You know, the thing is like every generation has their thing. This is their thing.
Yeah, I don't like it. Go
I'd
ahead.
like
what
to
you
be
got?
on one. I want to be a Real Housewife. I want to be a Real Housewife or a BFF to a Real Housewife. I want to be the one that's always there, you know, at the parties and everything, helping her get ready, choose her clothes, steal her makeup, whatever. I want that to be me. Can you fix that for me?
Ron might be able to. You never know. We actually have met a whole bunch of those reality show people. We just don't watch them. So half the time, we don't know.
I want to be the best. I want to be the BFF to a Real Housewife.
The sad thing. The
Put it
sad
out
thing.
there to America.
The sad thing. The sad thing about the reality shows they are not reality. They're rehearstsed, they're scripted, and they're phony.
Isn't it?
Okay?
But with people playing their same name.
But it just is trashy, crappy, and garbage because they're all alike. Women screaming at each other, acting undignified, cursing each other, calling each other bitches, cheaters, whores. I
can't wait to be in one.
Well, you know what? Then you're a part.
You actually fit though. You fit in one.
Then you're a part of today. That's what I was going to say. Theater is theater. Actors are actors. Actors struggle all of their lives. They learn their craft. They study. They beg for a job. They don't get success. These people are nothing nobodies, and they became successful like the
And they're the people that young people look up to.
Excuse me.
I
Don't
don't know what
interrupt.
to say. I mean, I'm
Jason,
hanging away from
Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt.
Sorry, darling.
The Kardashians in our country are probably the biggest humiliation that America has, besides our president. They have brought to light big asses, just terrible
porn,
just terrible stuff that other people have followed. Young people, yes, they do follow these reality shows, but they're not making better people out of themselves.
No, you are right.
Years ago, film had moral. Film taught you a lesson. Today, it's a free-for-all. We went to the movies last night and saw the most disgusting film I have ever seen in my life. How they produced it and showed it is beyond me. About a bunch of 7- and 8-year-old boys, 12-year-old boys saying, fuck you, dildos, snorting coke. It was the most horrific film of young people.
It was called Good Boys, and it was the #1 movie in America. So it's
so
seen
that
a million
goes to
people.
show you the mentality of the new American. Years ago, this would be considered outlawed because it would teach children the wrong thing. Now, young people will get this in their home and they will play it and they'll think that behaving this way is okay. So I think that we're on a course of collision because
I think you're right.
we've lost our value. So that's my opinion of reality shows. They should be taken off the air and put on quality television. We need quality.
And I think kids don't get to see quality stuff because they're so bombarded with this. I mean, the other thing that I've noticed as well is like even in just bringing it down to the level of the club scene, is that most kids don't get to see a live act of any kind. So on an occasion when I might be booked into a club where it's a lot of young people, sometimes I'm the first person they've ever seen sing live on stage, literally. And you think, how can that have happened to them? Like, they might have seen a DJ or, spend half the night going out and having a cigarette with their friends in the garden. That's the night is them. But to entertain them is like, there's some, I mean, they're usually very impressed and really love it. But that's the only thing I've got to say. We talk about this RuPaul like drag race stuff, and I know there's pros and cons, etc., etc. And I didn't really get it at all. I don't get it. Until I came to America, and I ended up meeting a couple of them, and then I went to the show that Eileen took me to, the big sort of like gay pride launch. Suddenly, when I saw them in a live environment, I suddenly appreciated that this is probably young people's only taste of entertainment, real entertainment, okay? So whatever your opinion on it is still better than what we would say low-grade reality TV.
Oh, shit.
They're seeing some kind of entertainment.
Stop.
Sorry.
We just have to stop you because we're out of time. The time went really fast.
Always does. It always does.
So you guys listen up. Follow Jason Prince on Twitter at Jason Prince DJ. You guys download Wouldn't It Be Good or stream it. It's a great new song. We're gonna have him back anyway, and they're gonna send us a song.
Love you, boys.
Love you too. Bye, Danielle. Bye, Scotty J. Bye, chat room. Everybody in the chat room. Thanks so much. See you guys later. Bye.